Hi, my reading friends. This is Sarah. Today I'm going to read the story How Did You Make the Web? Pooh and his friends wander through the 100-acre wood and they are discovering many new things. So, read along with me to find out. So, here we can see Pooh, the friendly bear. He seems to be looking into a box of his toys. You can see a net and there are books. So Pooh was searching for his favorite honey pot, turning his house all topsy-turvy when he first saw the spider web. He sat down on the floor beside the web and looked at it for a long time. A small spider was walking back and forth across some sticky threads. Pooh watched and wondered with great delight. Then he asked the question that he had been wondering about. How did you make that web? So have you seen a spider's web? You can see how it makes a web. Look at the design. So have you wondered, how does the spider make this web? Suddenly Pooh heard someone knocking at his door. When he opened it, that was his friend. Piglet was standing there. So there is Piglet come to visit Pooh. Hello, Piglet, said Pooh, inviting his friend inside. Please come in. I want to show you something. What is it, Pooh? Asked Piglet. Pooh pointed to the web on his wall. Look at this spider web, he said. It's been taking the spider a long time to weave it, because he's a very careful builder. So now Piglet is also watching the spider web. Let's watch and see, said Piglet. Pooh and Piglet studied the spider. It was using silky threads from its own body to make the web. Oh, isn't that clever, Piglet? Pooh said with a laugh. I guess animals build with parts of their body. Yes, that must be how animals build, agreed Piglet. They could see that the spider was making the web out of his body, a silky, sticky thread. Just then, a small mouse ran past them and scurried into a hole in the wall. The mouse was carrying a tiny piece of paper in its mouth. Pooh and Piglet peeked inside the hole. But it was too dark in there to see anything. Oh dear, said Piglet, looking at the mess on Pooh's floor. Pooh saw that there were tiny pieces of paper everywhere. What do you suppose he did that? The little mouse peeked out, raced across the floor, picked up a piece of cotton and carried it back inside. Oh, look, Pooh, Piglet cried. I think that mouse is using the paper and cotton to build a nest in the hole. Pooh nodded and smiled. I suppose animals build by using parts of their bodies and things they find lying around, he said. Yes, you must be right, Piglet agreed. They use any old thing they can stuff into a nest and pile up any old way. So there you can see the little mouse is taking all sorts of cotton and paper and he's making a nice cozy home for himself. Suddenly Piglet heard a fluttering sound outside Pooh's window. He pointed to a bird flying by. That bird is carrying twigs and leaves up into the tree, he said. Pooh saw Owl coming in for a landing. Here comes Owl, he called. Perhaps he can tell us what the bird is building. I'd be happy to, replied Owl. The bird is building a nest for her babies. So have you all seen a nest? Said Pooh. It seems to me that some animals use something from their bodies to build with, or they use whatever they can find to make into a messy nest. Or, added Owl, they use things in nature that they can carefully weave into a proper sort of nest. Either way, said Piglet, there is certainly a lot of building going on. Some animals are busy builders, said Piglet. They build with things their bodies make or things they find lying about that they can pile up any old way. So that's a spider making his web. There's the mouse making a cozy home with the papers. And there is the bird with a nest. Or things in nature that they can carefully weave together, said Owl. Or with sand, Piglet added proudly. So who builds a house with sand? Let's see. So that is the ants. You can see how the ants are walking. Pooh looked down and patted his stomach. All this thinking, watching and building is giving me a rumbly tummy, he said. I could do with a smackerel of honey. And I know just where we'll find some, said Owl. Let's go see the very thing that bees know how to build. Follow me. So the three friends went off to find a beehive. Oh, that is a beehive. Pooh, Piglet and Owl soon found some busy bees inside a tree hollow. It was full of honeycomb that the bees had built using wax from their own bodies, sort of like the spider's silky threads, said Piglet. Exactly, replied Owl, except the bees use honeycomb to hold their honey. So now they found out how the bees live too. Perhaps I can build something useful too, Pooh said. And with that, Pooh looked down at the ground. He scooped up some mud and shaped it into a bowl. Then he covered the inside and outside with leaves and twigs until he made a sort of basket. Drip, 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 the golden honey from a beehive dripped down, filling up Pooh's basket. So there we can see Pooh's getting honey. I may not be able to spin a web or build a nest or a sandy hill or make honey, said Pooh happily, but I can build something useful too. I can build a basket to hold my honey whenever I'm away from home without a honey pot. At last Pooh dipped his paw into his honey basket. Ah, he sighed and smacked his lips. For me, home is where the honey is. Thank you.